Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to another Flycast Partners webinar. My name is Rich Longo, and I'll be your host. Today's topic is Unified IT, and our presenter will be Flycast Partners' own Michael Durant. Now, Michael has several years of experience as a pre-sales senior solutions consultant with extensive experience in collaborating with clients on IT strategies. His proven leadership delivering exceptional sales support, driving new revenue opportunities, and expanding customer relations and strategic accounts. He has over 18 years in the IT space and a reputation for dedicated teamwork, high energy, work ethic, and commitment to customer service. Before we get started, Michael, let me introduce our organization. Flycast Partners is here to deliver a seriously amazing IT experience, founded and staffed by personnel that have many years of experience in the IT space. We took the best ideas from these collective experiences and added the best components necessary to grow and become a leading value-added reseller in the North American IT market. We offer best-in-class implementation services and training in ITSM, ITAM, batch processing, business artificial intelligence, capacity optimization with cost control, and enterprise service management, all using ITIL best practices. Our professional services team can easily scale up or down in order to meet the IT needs of any customer, regardless of size, complexity, or budgetary restrictions. We offer implementation services both on-site and remote, as well as training to reinforce your organization's long-term IT success. Ongoing remote administration service and support service offerings will enable your organization to focus on your normal day-to-day operations, saving you both precious time and money. I encourage you to call us at 844-FLYCAST, that's 844-359-2278, or simply visit our website and take a look at some of the offerings that we have, whether it be technology, training, or otherwise. With that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Michael Durant. Michael, I'll let you teach us about Unified IT.
Thanks, Rich. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right. Just a quick check. Can everyone see my screen?
All right, it looks good. I see it greatly. It looks good, sir.
Perfect, perfect. Well, thanks, Rich. Thanks for that wonderful introduction, and and thanks everyone for joining today and giving us an opportunity to demonstrate a topic, to speak on a topic that's near and dear to my heart. As Rich mentioned, I've been in IT for 18 years, dates me a bit, but this topic that we're gonna take a quick overview on, and being provided by the Ivanti organization, as I mentioned, is near and dear to my heart, because I started my IT career on the desk. So, I understand, the challenges, and I've seen them from different aspects, because in my IT career, I've worked my way, up into, back-end systems management, supporting organizations in high energy delivery areas. So, and I've actually used the Ivanti solutions at different organizations. So let's talk about Ivanti for a bit. Established in 1985, privately owned by Clear Lake Capital, headquarters in Salt Lake City. Every time I run this slide, I know these numbers are increased. Over 1,700 employees in 18 countries, probably about 14,000 plus customers as I speak. Over 500 partners. I happen to work with one that's been recognized as Partner of the Year with Ivanti. And what we'll talk about today is the acquisitions and the strategy behind these solutions, because these are not just acquisitions that, of some sort of solution that we plugged in. Ivanti looked at these acquisitions strategically and acquired best of breed in a lot of these areas to help drive this unified IT platform. So the topic that we're going to look at today, and this is going to be a series of webinars. Today we're going to talk about, the power of unified IT that Ivanti provides, bridging security, service management, IT operations, automating, workflows and integrations. Today we support that digital workspace of many different platforms, right? Different types of users today. Their expectations have changed, and we're going to look at what we can offer from a solution standpoint, a unified standpoint, not just being able to remote control and put fires out or react to a virus or patch. We're going to look at ways, or we need to look at ways to automate that. So in this slide, I'm sure some of you are probably chuckling, with all of these changing platforms and requirements, and IT has been presented with a completely different approach to service management. IT has evolved in predictable ways, to meet these changing requirements. For example, help desk has evolved to full service management, to better manage things like change for business requirements, major problems, adding knowledge, voice automation, self-service capabilities to better support these users, right? Escalating security, and breach threats have caused specialized security teams to grow, that fast outpaces, the availability of workers. So, this is where these automation capabilities come in to be able to identify and remediate. There are these growing, mobile, environments, virtual environments that now have to be managed. Teams has to be spun up to be able to assist in these areas. OS migrations, software updates, they come at a record pace. These things cause organizations to be in this constant, sort of nearly constant state of migration, where we're constantly evolving to meet these needs. Because of these security threats, most organizations just cannot afford to ignore these updates. Audits come at any time. I've actually, lived through 2 of those with major organizations, and oh, by the way, I've used the Ivanti tools to help bring the organization to proper reporting, because these audits come in and it disrupts business. They need to have one-off reports. Software recommendations are required by the business. And there's also business projects. Business as usual continues, and IT is expected to sort of juggle this. IT was always doing the right things. Being responsive as possible, to the business needs and the end users. But, the old way has resulted in, sort of an inefficient approach. There are many tools, many vendors, integrations has to be, or lack thereof. There's so much information coming at them, right? Lack of communication, lack of these tools being able to, communicate correctly with each other. These things increase risk, right? These things can bring, a business to a screeching halt. I've seen this. I've actually experienced these in organizations before. And what typically happens is users are less satisfied. IT is not at that particular approach. With that particular approach, IT is not going to be a trusted source, and what that drives is shadow IT, okay? And obviously security breaches, things of that nature. Perhaps the worst of all is not giving IT the time to be strategic and innovative. We're sort of behind the ball, reacting. We need to become a proactive and not reactive. So let's talk about the Ivanti advantage using unified IT. as we talked about before, those strategic acquisitions, we'll take a look at what some of those are. But within this unified IT approach, Ivanti provides solutions that allows you to discover, one of which I've used, so to be able to provide not just, what's out there, but who's using it, where is it, providing that insight to, cost, real-time dashboards and reports to show an asset moving between a specific department, a user. Is that asset secured? Is it patched correctly? Is it up to date with the compliance requirements of that business? And if it's not, then take action, automate that action, provide, notifications to those who needs to know what's going on, but allowing IT, freeing up IT to be able to, work on becoming that trusted source, right? This this lowers risk, right? This facilitates, quicker response time, increases user satisfaction, and allows time to be strategic, which is where IT needs to be. And that all sums up to be IT becoming that trusted source and not that department that looks upon as, oh, here's IT again. What are they doing today? So let's talk about that what makes up, what allows, where Ivanti is unique is the DNA, right? Not going to each of these. What I can speak to here, in real life, and I can give you real life scenarios, is using some of these solutions. For example, I actually worked as a customer, and I did work for Landesk before it was Ivanti. But as a customer, I've used the Landesk solution to be able to, again, discover, automate software delivery, patches, provide, remote reach for my support staff, and to provide insight into what is actually happening with an endpoint, an asset. And in using this solution in a real life scenario, we've had, I'm sure some of you can attest to having that sort of emergency situation where maybe there's a virus outbreak or, a patch has to be delivered out of your maintenance windows. And I've actually had to do that. Typically, actually in this real life scenario, when we had to do that in the organization that I worked for, it actually, we didn't have time to do a lot of testing, so we had to lay this patch down because of security breach. When this patch was laid down, it actually broke a homegrown application and caused some issues with an organization, a department that was critical to the business. What was really good with the Ivanti solution is I was able to, with a click of a button, using the patch capability, is roll that patch back so that we can, make the changes to this department's application so they can continue business as usual, and then we can provide, the fix and close that security hole. So, that's a real life example of me using, Ivanti's endpoint management, unified endpoint management, providing security capabilities in terms of patching endpoints. And then also on here, you notice that Heat software was acquired. Now, the industry has recognized, which is now Ivanti Service Management, has recognized this platform in such a way that it has taken the largest leap I've seen in the Gartner quadrant in recent years. This attests to the development capabilities and the solution capabilities of Ivanti. And these are all in integrated platforms. So the areas that we are going to look at today and talk to is IT asset management, IT service management, operational security, unified endpoint management, and supply chain enablement. In future demonstrations, we'll actually show you some of these solutions in a working model, all on the same platform, providing an end-to-end solution, which is what you need to do for your service department. So to help you understand, what makes Ivanti unique, we need to back up a bit. As you know, over the years, as I mentioned earlier, IT has evolved, right? What originally started out, where, you support individuals, with one device, always connected, maybe a desktop that was super heavy. Rather simple network, limited security risks, has changed, as fast as technology support has changed, but, in IT organizations, it has to be, to adapt to these complex environments, right? Not only these end users, are using, like a laptop, there are multiple mobile devices on different platforms, different types, that require frequent updates, easy access, cloud applications, skyrocketed, allowing, the increase shadow IT security breaches within organization. IT also, continues to fragment new platforms, technologies, specialized skills, changing user demands require different approaches, right, to support. User expectations are completely different. The expectations in which they interact with IT has changed. Examples of that is the applications an end user is using today. Being able to integrate one platform to the other is a click of a button. And then they come into IT and they expect this to be able to, do their business functions. So IT has to, to be able to adapt. And then with all of these, we as IT professionals has to deal with security threats. There's been an explosion of different types of security threats. And they're constantly evolving, so we constantly have to adapt. So just having some report of something that's happened is just not going to do it anymore. We need to be able to automate and remediate those and provide insight that this has been resolved to the business and be in front of those security threats. When you think of an overall approach, I've used point solutions, or, I've had to move between consoles to deliver software and then go to another one to deliver patch. With the Ivanti solution, you're able to do all of this from one console, an integrated platform that allows, again, insight, allows you to see and be predictive on your changes, reducing those emergency changes, making your management and the business needs, way more satisfying than previous organizations can have. So the highlighted capabilities, as we talked about, we'll do presentations with the actual solutions, but just to highlight these capabilities, endpoint security, unified endpoint management, these are all products that I've used as a customer. Providing antivirus capability, patch management, device control, privilege management, OS migrations. And I've actually went through a major project using this solution to migrate from, believe it or not, from XP to Windows 7. Seeing ways in which these solutions can deliver these migrations without, a user intervention, providing profile migrations, user workspace environments, exactly what they had on one OS to another, with a seamless a seamless process that's available without user intervention. And then while these things are changing, is to be able to, provide, software asset management and hardware asset management for your asset managers. Providing those integrated platforms to see those changes, to be ready for, software audits. Have solutions that provide things like normalization, so license optimization, software audit defense, life cycle management. Where is this, quite often working on the desk, I've seen, assets move from, one user to the other, and IT has no idea. So now the cost, has shifted to a different department, and there's no insight until an audit comes. and also understanding how your software is actually being used to allow you to be able to, automate maybe a rollback on specific software so you can not have to pay for a license that is not being used. Identity lifecycle management, being able to automate, something like an onboarding process. I've worked as a consultant in my career as well, and I've left organizations where, not only was I've experienced, the difficulty in onboarding me. I've showed up to work and there was no laptop, there was nothing available for me except my paycheck. And then when I left, I still had access. For weeks after, being the type of person I am, I notified them, and because I was still getting notifications in different areas on my phone, things like that. So, being able to have a system that's able to understand and monitor as assets and users change in the environment and provide insight is huge. And all of this is on a unified platform, allowing you to, integrate workflow processes, integrations through cloud platforms, and provide that seamless, unified workspace. So some examples of that unified IT. As I just mentioned, fully onboarding and offboarding. So when a user leaves an organization, you can quickly identify what assets they owned and what they need to return, quickly restock the licensing that was on that endpoint so that you can have usable license available and not having to, go out and buy, and drive that cost down, which obviously makes business leaders happy. Automating, isolating, and remediation of security risk. As I mentioned before, I've used this antivirus solution, the patch capability, and also providing security measures around, maybe your sales organization having access in different environments, being able to remediate anything that may have happened while a user is, outside of your LAN, being able to provide, quick actions and insight. As we mentioned, Windows 10 migration and updates, without user interruption. Huge, okay? You have, this constant, as I mentioned, threats. So these updates are coming at a record pace, being able to automate that. Software license cost reduction. Avoid audits. Be ready. So when these vendors, these major vendors come in, you can hand them or show them dashboards that provide KPIs and reports that show that you're compliant. You're not overusing their software, and there's no cost involved in sort of truing up, because in my experience with audits, I've seen organizations typically do manual scans, and there's no the data that's being provided here is just not clean. So there's no understanding as who owns what. Sat in meetings over weekends trying to piece together, cost, POs, and invoices to match records. This is time consuming. This can be very, very costly, and you're given a specific amount of time to be able to provide this consolidated data in an effective manner. If not, that audit, that vendor will take that over and run their tools, which is something that we don't recommend. Well, that was a quick highlight of Unified IT. As I mentioned, this will be a series of webinars in which we will actually show you these solutions in action. working on a single platform, providing an end-to-end solution that can help your IT organization become effective and become that trusted source. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed my demonstration, and looking forward to presenting some more solutions to you in the future.
Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day for us today. Folks, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us at 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278. That's 844-FLYCAST, or you can simply visit us at www.flycastpartners.com. You can chat with us on our chat box with one of our ITSM specialists, or email us at info@flycastpartners.com. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to spend with us, and enjoy the rest of your week.